Hello, everybody. Welcome to the interview part of the Just Talk podcast. I'm here with Jaylen Bond.
What's up? How are you doing?
So you and Aaron are from the same hometown. So did you know him before Albany, or did you just start connecting here?
Yeah, I know him a little bit. I remember when I was in high school, he used to come to a team camp like that we put on for like younger kids, him and his brother Cam. So I seen him at a young age and just seen the talent level that he had was just above everybody else that was at his age and even kids a little bit older than him. So I knew at a young age that he was definitely talented at basketball. Him and his brother.
All right. Now, you start your career at Texas.
Right.
What caused you to choose Texas as a destination?
Part of the history and the tradition that University of Texas holds. Rick Barnes and Rob Lanier, both coaches at the time, recruiting me. Just being kind of getting out of the Philadelphia area, just experiencing, different part of the world, different scenery that I wasn't used to. And just the ability or the opportunity to play right away, play as a freshman in the Big 12 conference, something I wanted coming into college.
See, usually, when I talk to players, they always try to keep a proximity to home, but I guess you didn't. Did you consider that, or were you ready to go and move out of there?
So I was originally committed to University of Pitt, which would have been a closer commute for sure. My senior year, I've actually opened up my recruitment back up. Just wanted to see what other schools, I was also considering a post-grad route. So I just decided, I played a couple more AAU tournaments. That's when I got the offer from University of Texas. So once I got that offer, I was like, all right, this is one of the schools that, that I would have loved to recruit me, early on. So just to get that offer, towards the end of my recruitment, I was like, all right, this is a good fit.
Now you end up deciding to transfer and end up going to Temple.
Right.
What caused that move?
So after my sophomore year at Texas, I kind of battled through injuries that whole year, ankle injury, foot injury. So when I got healthy, I didn't have the same role within the team. I didn't have the same playing minutes that I was, looking forward to. So it came to, at the end of the season, I had to kind of make a selfish decision for myself, just realizing like what I wanted for my future, and it was to play. So I decided to transfer back home, play for Coach Dunphy at Temple. Had a pretty successful career. That's where I met Coach Killings.
Yeah, so tell me about that relationship with Coach Killings. Did he recruit you? Did someone else recruit you at that time? And how did that build? Got
recruited again by Coach Dunphy and another coach on staff, Coach Trice. So they reached out to me once I, decided to enter the transfer portal again. And just being back home, being able to play in front of my family and friends was something I was looking forward to, just to coming back home. Even though that's what I kind of decided to get away from coming out of high school.
Now, shout out our producer, Jacob, because you end up playing for his hometown team, the Westchester Knicks.
Okay.
So tell me about that experience.
It was cool. It was my first year in the G League, living in Westchester. It was a good city, good area. Not a lot to do. It was good. The basketball was challenging at times, just being in the G League. It's a constant revolving door, new teammates every game. Players getting sent down from the NBA, playing most of the minutes. So it was kind of tough to navigate throughout the whole year, but I was able to learn a lot. I was able to get better individually, but also understand the NBA style of play a little bit more and how it was different from college.
Now, my big question on this is, we actually, on the first podcast, spoke on this about is what's tougher, competition in the G League or top college teams. Now, we both agree that it was the G League. Would you agree with that statement?
No, I would disagree.
You would think college is harder?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah, why is that?
So I think it's easier to score in the G League just because of the spacing, and you're not allowed to stay in the paint for 3 seconds offensively, defensively. College, you can pack the paint. In college, it's a lot more system-based, where G League is more individual talent. Guys kind of showcasing their skill set, so it's not really team concept that's involved. So I definitely think it's harder to, I guess, to be more effective or to score more in college.
I'm guessing defense is worse than in the G League because if you're more individual based, you're gonna have worse defense.
I agree. Yep.
Wow, it's funny. The two college players picked the G League and the G League player picked college. Who would have thought?
True.
All right. Yeah, that was cool. All right. Now, my last question about your college career was your first game was, I'm pretty sure, against Duke.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that experience playing against Coach K?
This was at Temple, my first game.
Yeah.
It was a good experience. We got blown out, unfortunately. I think they were number one in the country. I think we played the number one team back-to-back years. I think it was Duke one year and North Carolina the following year. Got blown out both games. But it was a good test for us to see kind of where we measured up with the best team in the country. So it was good for us. It helped us realize like, all right, certain things we needed to work on as we got, throughout our season, the rest of our non-conference and conference schedule. So it was good just to play against the best talent out there. It was tough. Hopefully, unfortunately, we came away with a loss, but we still had a pretty good year that year.
Was that would you ever want to go through that experience again, or was it brutal?
Nah, I wouldn't. I'm a sore loser. I hate to lose, especially in that fashion. It was tough, but I had to kind of have a short-term memory because we play so often. So,
would you ever want to go through the Kentucky experience again?
Kentucky, definitely. I definitely need my get back. Now that experience was fun. I was as a freshman there, so it's crazy how fast. I feel like the game was just like it was. We started and the game was over. Like, but we competed. It got away from us, but we competed.
My last question for you is what ended up. So who reached out to who? So you ended up coming to UAlbany as an assistant.
Right.
Were you on like did Coach Killings have you on the contact list and was just like, remember this guy in Temple? I should see if he wants an option. How did that work?
We always stayed in touch, after I finished up at Temple and then after he left and went to different places. So we always had a relationship. So he kind of always knew what direction I wanted to do once I, ended up finishing playing. So I had more talks with him recently, as my time as a graduate assistant at Temple was winding down. So he was just able to, just help out. I talked to him throughout this process, come up here, and interview a few times, meet some of the staff, meet some of the players. So he just felt like it was a good fit for the staff and also for myself. So it was good just to have that prior relationship with him that we just kept, maintaining this, just building off of.
And then, so you ended up going from the Westchester Knicks to overseas.
Right.
What led you to choose that decision? Because I feel like it's kind of hard to just decide you want to play overseas because of, living in a different country has to have its difficulties.
Right.
So how was that experience?
I always knew I wanted to play basketball for a living. Just like every other kid, my dream was to play in the NBA. When that didn't happen, you kind of sit with yourself and realize like, all right, what do I want to do? And I knew I was good enough to continue to play and make money playing basketball. So I was able to play for about six and a half years, just making money playing a game pretty much. So I, maximize that to the most of my abilities. To the point where I felt like, all right, now let me get ready for the next phase of my life, and that's coaching and just helping the next generation, the next group of kids, just on a daily basis, figuring out what it takes to be successful on the court, off the court, and just the importance of, really being the same person day in and day out to achieve your dreams and just have high goals, but put the work in to achieve those things.
So what, because I mean, me and Justin can't, imagine how overseas basketball is, but if you had to explain the pros and the cons of it, what would that be?
The pros definitely would be just to see different parts of the world, experience different cultures, meet new people, try new food, stuff like that. Also playing basketball in a foreign country, it's a fun thing, especially if you're in a pretty good city. I was lucky enough to be in some pretty good cities. some of the cons would be, just being so far from your family. That's probably the toughest thing, being away from your loved ones. I know it's tougher for people. I have friends that had, wives back home, that had kids and stuff back home, which has made it, tougher for them. So I think that's definitely the hardest part of the overseas journey, just being away from your family and friends.
So what's been like the biggest adjustment going from player to coach?
Good question. I would say the behind the scenes stuff, like the preparation it takes to get ready for practice, the amount of film work it takes after practice to make sure, that we're doing everything to put the players in the best situation to be successful, for their individual success, but also as a team success. It's just a lot more work that goes into it that you don't really understand or don't really, I guess, care to notice when you're a player. So your mindset is different because you feel like you have to do a lot more to make sure that you feel like the product you're putting out, like the players that we're putting out there, are prepared for whatever challenges faced in front of them. So it's a lot more work in a different aspect, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it so far.
Are you looking to become like a head coach one day, or do you like the assistant role where you can get like, I feel like assistant coaches get more like personal connections with players rather than the head coach who kind of like has to oversee like everything that's going on?
That's another good question. Honestly, I don't necessarily, let me start over. Good question. To me personally, I don't put a ceiling on myself. Like, is it a head coach or assistant coach? Like, I just want to be the best person I can be every day. Make sure I'm adding value to whatever situation I'm in. And if I get the opportunity to, get offered for a head coaching job, of course I would take it. But I also enjoy, assistant coaching role where it's not as much pressure as, if you're the head coach, but like you said, you still are able to build those more interpersonal relationships with the players and stuff. But I'm definitely open to every option.
Now, speaking on that, would your dream head coaching job be at one of your alma maters?
I would definitely be open to that. That would be a cool thing to, experience, either at Texas or Temple. Like I said, I know my future is already planned for me, so I'm just enjoying every moment while I'm in it. And just letting life kind of, play out as it will.
Do you think you'd prefer Temple or Texas? It may sound like an easy decision, but sometimes people like the smaller schools because of, I would say some people prefer smaller schools because they don't always have the access to everything. So sometimes you want to provide for those who, Texas, if you're there or not, you're not making an impact. But I mean, we've seen what Deion Sanders has done for Colorado. He's done for Jacksonville State. So sometimes coaches want to provide things for players that they've never experienced for. So that's why I brought it as an option.
That's a good question because honestly, I'm laughing with Justin, but I might take Temple. I might choose to just
get better food in Texas though. I ain't gonna lie.
It's a lot of good spots in the city. It's a lot of good spots in the city.
I'm a Philadelphian as well.
It's a lot of good spots in there.
Yeah, it's true. You also get to be back by your hometown, so that has to have its advantage as well. So, I mean, as an older person, I feel like you want to stay home closer than when you're younger. So,
yeah, as an older person.
No, but like, it's a better question than you thought. You thought it
was a good question.
All right.
4 years behind me.
Trying to bid. All right, relax.
That's good. All right. No, not making me feel old. Damn. What player would you say has inspired your game?
Let me see. So growing up, I was a Allen Iverson fan. My game doesn't model Allen Iverson at all, but that's somebody that I always cut it out. That's somebody that I watched growing up in Philly. That was one of my favorite players. Him and Vince Carter.
He doesn't model that either.
I used to have belts.
What's next, Stephen Curry?
Under the rim player.
Go on YouTube, search Jaylen Bond on YouTube. Have fun.